Recording is on.
Good morning, everyone. My name is LisaBug. Welcome to LisaBug Yoga. And today we're going to do a practice that utilizes a foam roller as a prop. And I also have a strap if you have one available. If you don't have a foam roller at home, you can construct a foam roller by placing a row of canned goods end to end, about the length of the foam roller, and then roll it up into an extra yoga mat or perhaps into a couple of larger towels and secure that in place with rubber bands. And that makes a really nice makeshift foam roller. Also, if you prefer using a block, many of these poses can be done with a block or two blocks as well. So let's begin this morning seated in Baddha Konasana, our bound angle pose, and just place that foam roller underneath the outside of the knees. Press the soles of the feet together. We'll sit nice and tall. A long spine. You can close your eyes, come inside, begin to ground yourself and prepare for your practice this morning. Hands can be at the knees or pressing palms at heart center in our Anjali Mudra as we take just a moment to express our gratitude for this day and for the health of our bodies. We'll take a breath in, reaching the arms up nice and high, stretch, and exhale them down to your sides. This time breathing in, extend through the spine, rotate to the right, bringing your left hand across that right knee. Right hand comes behind you, lengthen the spine, inhale. Exhale and rotate, looking over that right shoulder. Now keeping your spine rotated to the right, just turn your head only over the left shoulder. Bring the head back to neutral. Inhale to sweep the arms up, stretch, rotating over to the left side. Right hand comes across the knee, left arm behind you. We lengthen the spine with the inhalation, increase our rotation with the exhalation. Keep your torso rotated left, turning the head to the right. Bring the chin back to center. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale and fold forward over that foam roller. Dropping your chin towards your chest, a little gentle stretch through the lower back. And breathe into the back body. Expand through the back of the rib cage. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands come behind you. Extend through the heart. Open up through the fronts of the shoulders. And relax. We'll bring our foam roller over to the right side of your mat, turning it horizontally, and bring your legs into a Z sit. So the shin of the right leg is parallel to the front of your mat, while the shin of the left leg parallel to the side. I'll extend the arm out onto that foam roller. Inhale and stretch over and let the foam roller roll with you as you go. And we'll come back up on an in-breath and reach out with the exhalation. Now this can be done on the floor without the foam roller, just placing your hand onto the mat. But the foam roller gives you that little bit of extra. As we extend and stretch, we can keep rolling it out, out, out. And I feel a nice stretch underneath the right armpit. Now reach up to the diagonal, pull this left shoulder back, open up the heart. And then as you exhale, roll the foam roller out and thread the needle, reaching the left hand underneath the right armpit. Inhale, open out to the diagonal. Exhale, rolling the foam roller out, curve the spine, hollow out the midsection. With the breath, nice complete exhalation, rotate. And reach up. Now as you roll the foam roller out, reach that left hand to the foam roller. Separate the right hand out just a little further and twist to face your foam roller with your chest and roll it out. Dropping the forehead down to the mat and roll it back up. Shoulders are away from the ears. Roll it out. And up. Maybe a little bit farther this time. Really feel that opening through the big muscles of the upper back and the chest. And pull it up. Walk that right hand back in, opening out the left. Reach for the left ankle and slide your knee back a little bit more until you feel this opening through your quadricep. Your hand can stay on the foam roller if you'd like. We can lift this knee off the mat as we draw back or extend and reach through the fingertips. Two more breaths. And release that down. We'll swing this left leg around to place either in front of the right shin, or we can take it across even further to open up through the glute and settle that hip bone, sitting bone, down into the mat. Reach the left arm high, inhale, then rotate and open out this arm. Pull the shoulder blades back, and we're hugging the left knee in and across the body. And inhale and exhale. Bring your foam roller across to the other side. And we'll switch the feet to our Z-sit. And the feet always go away from the foam roller. So we have the shin of the left foot, leg parallel to the front edge of your mat, the shin of the right leg parallel to the side edge. Reach the hand out to that foam roller. Inhale and roll it out. Exhale. Breathe it in. And with a lot of this work, I don't have my wrist and my hand on the floor, where normally I would be here pressing into the wrist. So this is nice if you have wrist issues. There's no pressure there in that joint. Now coming up to about 45 degrees here, rotate back, open up, expand through the chest. And then as you exhale, send the foam roller out and rotate, reach underneath the armpit. Inhale, open. Exhale, twist. One more time, find that beautiful range of motion that feels just right for you today. Reach it up, extend. Then bring this hand over to the foam roller and separate the back hand open a little bit more. And I'm using the foam roller to help to brace and to rotate my spine, but not too forcefully. Roll the foam roller forward, dropping the forehead down towards the mat. And pull it back up on a nice inhalation. Try not to shrug the shoulders up here. Oftentimes when we have weight on our hands, we tend to hunch up through the shoulders. So press them down and away from the ears. And pull it up and hold. Walk that left hand in, open out. And we'll reach the hand to the ankle, sliding this knee back, which gives us more space here in the quadricep and hip flexor. We can hold on to the ankle if that's accessible to you, and lengthen. And release that down. Swing this right leg around. You can either place the foot in front of the shin right here, or give it a crossover, which enables our glute to stretch just a little bit more. Hug that knee in. Inhale to reach up. Exhale to open out that arm and look behind you. Sitting super tall, keep trying to press that right sitting bone down into the mat. And inhale, reach back up. And exhale. We're going to use our foam roller for cat and cow. So just situating it on either side of your mat. Horizontally, come to all fours, hands and knees. So the foam roller is a dynamic moving object. So we're going to feel a little bit more instability in our cat and cow here and spinal balance. So you can always do this with your hands onto the floor. So we'll slightly roll the foam roller forward to straighten out this wrist joint just a little bit. And take an inhalation, lift the sitting bones behind you, the chin slightly forward, and drop the belly into cow. Then as you exhale, round the back up into cat and pull the foam roller towards your knees and maybe come up onto your fingertips. Inhale, roll it out. Cow. Exhale, pull it up. Cat. One more time. Inhale. Spinal extension. Exhale into spinal flexion. Now come right to that neutral spine and extend your right leg back behind you and try to level off your hips. So sometimes we pick this hip up and rotate it open. So press your right hip bone down to the floor. And then if you'd like a little bit more challenge, take your left hand away from the foam roller, holding our spinal balance. Place that left hand back down. Inhale here. Exhale and pull the knee in towards the chest into your one-kneed cat stretch. Extend it back out to your cow. Round it into cat. Now you can add that left arm extending out for a little bit more balance challenge here on the foam roller and pull the elbow in towards the knee. Whenever we're on an unstable surface, our core fires more, our awareness is heightened in our balance. Reach it out and hold. And relax the hand and the knee. Now just take that foam roller and roll it forward and back a couple of times to release your wrists. Then come back to neutral spine. Send your left leg straight back. And the right arm reaches, spinal balance. And we turn this thumb up as if you're shaking someone's hand. And try not to look forward with the head, but we're keeping the back of the neck long. Now we can place that hand back on the foam roller as we round into our one-legged cat stretch. And send it back into our cow, lengthened. Lots of names for these poses that we find. We can add the opposite arm, sometimes known as bird dog or spinal balance. Our inhalation is on the reach. The exhalation as we pull the belly in and contract. Use your abdominal muscles. Remember, this can always be done without the foam roller. Hand onto the floor. Last one. And reach out and hold. And the hand comes down. And the knee comes down. Sit back into child's pose and let the foam roller roll away from you. Extended child's. You have a beautiful stretch here because we're able to drop lower than the floor with the forehead. The arms are lifted. And then we'll inhale, coming back up. Now very carefully, because this foam roller is a moving object, make sure your shoulder blades are connected. Tuck your toes back behind you. Lift the hips up and come into downward facing dog. Walk the feet forward towards the top of your mat, forward bend. Soften the knees. Inhale, rise up to mountain pose. And we'll move through a sun salutation, Surya Namaskar, using that foam roller as a prop. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, swan dive into forward bend, placing your hands on top of your foam roller. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen through the fingertips. Exhale, fold, and step your right foot back to lunge, and your left foot back to plank. Drop the knees to the mat. And we'll bend the elbows into a little chaturanga. Then drop the hips and extend up into a kneeling upward facing dog. Press back to child's pose. And rising up, we'll tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Bend the knees, step the right foot forward, the left foot follows, forward bend. Inhale, rise all the way up, reach to the fingertips. And we'll repeat, swan dive into forward bend. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold, this time stepping the left foot back behind you. The right foot follows into plank. Now you can keep the knees up or drop the knees to the floor as we lower partway down chaturanga. Then extend into upward facing dog. Toes can stay curled under. And this time we'll press right back into our down dog, or you can move into child's pose. Bend the knees, step the left foot through. The right foot follows, forward bend. Inhale, rise all the way up, reach to the fingertips. Press the palms at heart center. And move the foam roller back a little bit so that you have your right foot And I'm going to give you mirrored cues. So I'm actually going to use my left foot as the cue. Right foot on your side is going to step over and square off your hips, all 10 toes facing forward. Now make sure your feet are hips distance apart from side to side. And then roll your shoulders back and open up your heart. Hands can also go at the hips, or you can interlace your hands behind your back. A strap's a good tool to use as well here to hold behind you. And we'll begin to bow into our pyramid pose. Now, if you feel a little bit more flexible today, you can release this and your fingertips can come down to that foam roller as you lengthen the spine. Now with our pyramid, we try not to hunch our back here. We do enough hunching through the day. So try to lengthen your spine up to neutral. The pelvis as level as you can get it. 2 more breaths. Then bringing the hands back to the hips. Soften that front knee just a little bit as you rise up. And we'll repeat to the other side just by pivoting on the feet to face the other direction. So you have your left foot in front. Now try not to turn out the back foot because you'll lose a little bit of the stretch in the calf here. So all 10 toes facing forward, good alignment of the spine. Choose your arm position and begin to hinge from the hips. So not rounding the back as we move forward, but just tipping and feeling the back of that left leg lengthening. And then as we hold for a few more breaths, finding your comfortable edge, maybe you reach the fingertips down to the foam roller for a little support. Check in with your hips, make sure that they're squared. Nice neutral spine, 3 more breaths. And then rather than rising up, we'll turn to place both hands on the foam roller in front of you and pivot your feet to face forward into a wide leg stretch. So depending on your flexibility, you might take your feet a little bit wider. Your head might even come to the top of the foam roller. And bring your hands to your hips. Soften your knees just a little bit. With the strength of the back body, rise up. Let's take a breath in, reach, and exhale. So turning back to face the right side, rather than having the foam roller between the legs, we'll extend the foam roller out in front of us. But again, we've got all 10 toes facing forward as we stand, and hips are squared. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, and reach forward until the hands come to that foam roller. You can always use a chair or blocks as well. Roll it out so it's right underneath the shoulders, and lift your left leg up off the floor for supported warrior 3. Now we can eventually reach up a little higher onto the fingertips if we have our balance here. We can let go of one hand, both hands, you choose. And then as we set that foot down to the mat, drag your foam roller with you and bring it right behind that right foot and rise up, finding a warrior two. So you might have to adjust your stance here a little bit wider and try to align this knee over the ankle, reach through the fingertips and gaze over the right hand. We'll reach out to the right just a bit and bring the right forearm down towards the right thigh. Left arm reaches side angle pose or extended side angle. Now that foam roller behind you is there if you'd like to bring the fingertips down to take this a little deeper and a little deeper. We can use a block here as well, but the beauty of the foam roller is because of its length, once we drop our hand down, we don't have to make any adjustments like we'd need to move a block around. It's right there for us. Inhale, reach up, rotating that right palm up, exhale into reverse warrior, sun warrior. Left hand can slide down the thigh or wrap behind the lower back. Let the arms fall back into warrior two position. And then we'll straighten out this right leg, preparing for triangle pose. Again, reach out. And the hand comes down, maybe it lands to the shin, or maybe you can find your block behind you, your foam roller, and keep pulling this left shoulder back. Gaze can be up, neutral, or down towards the right big toe. Begin to rebend that right knee, coming back up through your warrior two. And we'll straighten out that right leg, pivot both feet forward, 5-pointed star, inhale. And exhale, wide leg stretch. And we can easily adjust our foam roller right here. It's within reach, bringing it to the opposite side of your mat, outside of that left foot. And bring your hands to your hips, the long spine and soft knees, rising back up. So we'll turn both feet, all 10 toes, towards that left side. And maybe shorten up your stance just a little bit here, squaring off the hips. Inhale, lengthen the arms up. Exhale and reach down until you find that foam roller in front of you with the fingertips. Let it roll out a little bit, lifting that back foot off the floor. Supported warrior three. So the standing leg doesn't have to be completely straight. We don't want to lock it out for sure. You can have a little micro bend in it. Your hips are level and flat here at the sacrum. You can come up a little higher into your fingertips. Neutral spine, neutral cervical placement, that neck position. Maybe take one hand off the foam roller or both. And other balance poses can be done from here as well, like half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. And we'll rebend that left knee, setting the right foot back down onto the mat. And then bring your foam roller off to the side and open up into warrior two. Reach. Take time to adjust your stride here. We have that heel to arch alignment. Really lengthen the spine from tailbone through crown of the head. Reach forward just a bit, bringing that left forearm down to the right thigh or left thigh. And reach up into side angle pose or extended side angle. And it's okay to stay here. The foam roller is just there for you to explore to see if you can take it a little bit deeper without coming out of alignment. So what we don't want to do is round forward here, but imagine there's a wall behind your back. We're pressing that right shoulder blade into the wall. Rise back up, warrior two. Turning your left palm up and reverse warrior. Come back to our warrior two arms. Preparing for triangle. Begin to straighten out this left leg. Reach out long. And then spiral down. Hands can come to the shin wherever they land. Or maybe you can explore that block behind you or foam roller. Choose your head position. Make sure it's comfortable for you. Or sometimes it's nice just to rotate your head back and forth while you're holding a pose, changing the gaze or the drishti. And begin to soften that knee. Rise back up to your warrior two. And then cartwheel the hands down to the mat or foam roller. Step into forward bend. Inhale, rise all the way up. Reach to the fingertips. And press the palms. So we'll adjust our foam roller to lying on our back with the foam roller underneath the knees for some bridging. And we've done some good stretching through the hamstrings, which is really important before we fire them for bridge pose. Because sometimes when we use our foam roller for these poses, we can get a little bit of cramping in the back of the leg. So we want to take this very carefully and very slowly. So let's bring our legs over the foam roller. And then take your time to roll down onto your back and hold behind the thighs. And then once you're onto your back, we'll place the feet right on top of the foam roller. Relax to the upper back, neck, and shoulders. And then begin to tuck the tailbone under and start to lift the hips up into a bridge. So you will feel a good amount of work in the backs of the legs here. So coming up only where it feels comfortable for you and then rolling down one vertebra at a time. There's so much more of this connection in the hamstrings when we have our feet on the foam roller, because we're using the backs of the legs to try to keep that moving object from rolling away from us. So try to keep the foam roller steady and still. And rolling back up. And down. And one more time, roll up into that bridge. If you'd like, you can interlace your hands behind your back. Rock a little bit from side to side to open up the heart. Really lift the hips skyward. If you'd like, you can slightly roll the foam roller away from you and pull it back in. Roll it away and pull it in. One more time. Hold. And then separate the hands, separate your shoulder blades, and slowly roll down one vertebra at a time. Coming back to neutral spine. Okay, we're going to spend some time stretching the hamstrings now that we just worked. Your option is to pull the foam roller underneath your sacrum. You can also use your block or just stay flat on the floor. So I'm going to lift up into a bridge, roll that foam roller right underneath the hips. So it's not in my low back, it's not in my spine, but it's in that broad hip area at the sacrum. Also, if you have a strap, you can have that ready for you to use as a prop as well. So for now, let's just take the right leg and lengthen it out. And if you are up on the foam roller or block and the hips are lifted, you're really going to feel a nice stretch across the top of your right hip. Let that leg feel heavy and relaxed. So if you'd like, you can just close your eyes and just remain as you are. Or we'll add some layers onto this stretch. Next layer, if you'd like, is to lift your left leg and pull it up in towards your chest. Holding here either behind the thigh or around the knee. So that gives you a little bit more stretch yet in the right hip flexor. For the next layer, we can take our yoga strap and place it underneath the bottom of the left foot and extend that leg up and stretch through the hamstring. So if you're not using the foam roller or a block, just go ahead and lengthen the right leg out down onto the mat and use your strap or maybe a scarf or a necktie or a hand towel and stretch that leg up. And I like to place the strap under the ball of the foot rather than the arch so I can get some good flexion, dorsiflexion of the calf. Now let's take this leg slightly across the midline of the body, but I'm not twisting my spine. I still feel my left hip bone down into that foam roller, and this will wake up the IT band. Now, if you're at home doing your own practice and you want to press pause and stay here longer, that's the beauty of YouTube, right? Or we can bring that leg back to center, maybe pull it in a little closer to enjoy a deeper stretch. And then bend the knee, release the strap from the bottom of the foot, set it down to the mat. And then pull that right knee in, and I want you to do a couple of little circles here around, just to release that stretch in the hip flexor. And reverse. And then place that foot back down onto your mat. And slide your left leg out long and feel that hip flexor begin to release. Now try to relax that leg so you can let your toe flop out to the side. Allow your leg to feel heavy here. If your foot doesn't reach the floor and you're up on the foam roller, that shows that you have fairly tight hip flexors. So maybe you can place your foot on a little pillow or something so that you have it supported. Our next layer is to add this right knee coming up in toward you, holding either behind the thigh or around the knee. Or we can take our strap and add in our hamstring stretch. Bottom of the foot and extend it up. So as you begin the stretch, just notice how everything feels. There's no need to go to your full maximum range right at first. Take your time to get there. If we can allow this leg to be as straight as possible, the benefit will be greater. So that's the reason we have the strap, so that we can extend our leg into any place that we need to bring it to find a stretch and to get that leg straight. Now let's bring it across the midline a little bit to awaken the IT band, but our right hip stays down on the foam roller. So there's no twisting of the spine. This is just transverse adduction of the hip. If you're at home, you want to stay here longer, pause your video. And we'll bring it back to center. Maybe draw that strap in just a little closer. One more breath. And releasing the strap from the bottom of the foot. Place it down to the mat. And then slowly drag that left knee back up. And we'll take a couple of circles around. It might feel a little bit achy after that stretch. So just bring the mobility back into the joint. And reverse. And then place both feet down. We can either stay here for a few more breaths, or we can try sliding both legs out and see how that feels for the hip flexors and for the spine as we're in a supported back bend. So we really feel a lot of lengthening across the hip flexors. They're a tight, tight joint because of all the sitting we do. So you can remain here as long as you'd like, or another pose we can move into in this place is legs up the wall position, up on the foam roller. So we can bring one knee in at a time, and then try extending the legs straight up. So this brings the blood flow and the lymphatic fluid from the lower body back towards the heart. And let's flex and point the ankles. You can do this flat on the mat without the foam roller. You can find a place to do it up against the wall as well. You can also place a strap under the bottom of both feet so that you can hold this here. Now just relax the feet, take 3 breaths. And then bring the feet down to the mat, one at a time. And we'll prepare to come off of your foam roller by pressing into the feet, lift the hips, roll it away from you, but still keep it between your hips and your feet here. And then hug one knee into the chest, little counter stretch. Place that foot down, hug the opposite knee into the chest. Or you can hug both knees or maybe take a nice happy baby pose. And then let your feet come back down to the mat for a Baddha Konasana. So we let the knees open out onto the foam roller. This gives us some support for a little bit of a restorative Baddha Konasana. If you're not feeling any stretch in your hips and you'd like to go lower, you can slide the foam roller out. And for just a moment, press into the back of your head and lift your chest up off the mat and pull your shoulder blades down towards your hip pockets, and then set your back down onto the mat. Close your eyes, relax your arms in any comfortable position. They can be to the sides of the body with palms up. You can bring your arms into cactus, goalpost arms, if that feels like a good stretch. You can even reach them above the head or fold them across the belly. And let your hips sink into the mat. And really bring your awareness to your physical body. Noting the sensations that you feel in the muscles today that we stretched and released and worked. You can remain here with your knees outward on your foam roller, or you can close them together and just keep that foam roller underneath the knees as you slightly roll it away from you, just to support the back of the knees into more of a traditional Shavasana. We'll come into a 3-part breath. So the inhalation has 3 sections. The first third fills the belly and it rises. The second third fills the thoracic spine, the rib cage, and expands it out laterally. The final third fills the upper lungs and lifts the heart skyward. And exhale in reverse, the heart sinks, the ribs funnel in, and the belly drops. Two more of these 3-part breaths. Inhale, belly, ribs, heart. Exhale, heart, ribs, and belly. At your own pace. Eventually returning to a normal breath flow. All is well. We are safe, we are healthy, we are happy, and we are at peace. Now remaining here as long as you like, enjoy this time in peaceful meditation. Or we can prepare to come back to seated. So we'll start first. If your knees are open, slowly close them together. And place your feet on top of your foam roller. And just let it drift away from you. Lift one arm above your head and roll your body over to that side. And use the strength of your top arm to begin to press yourself up and come to a comfortable seated pose. Nice long spine, shoulders are back, heart is open. We'll take a breath together. Inhale to sweep out and up. Gather all that is positive in with that breath and draw it into your being. We use this Anjali Mudra as a sign or a symbol of gratitude and honor. And I am grateful for this opportunity to bring you this practice this morning. I am honored to serve you in this way, and the light and peace and love that is within me honors the light and love and peace in each of you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Share this with your friends. Ask them to subscribe to the channel, and I'll have lots more videos for you. Have a wonderful day.